Dolph Lundgren is a famous actor, director, producer, and martial artist. The roles that brought him great fame were Ivan Drago from Rocky IV and the titular Universal Soldier programmed for murder. Dolph Lundgren. What happened to the legend of action movies from the 90s? Hans Lundgren, this is the real name of the actor, was born on November 3, 1957 in the Swedish town of Spånga near Stockholm. His father Carl was a military officer, an engineer, and worked as an accountant for the Swedish parliament. The boy was the first child, and later 3 more children were born, daughters Annika and Katarina and son Johan. When Dolph was 3 or 4 years old, his father hit him for the first time. His son blocked the TV screen. For this, Carl kicked the child so hard, he flew off and hit the bookcase. The beatings continued after that. Dolph had to go to school with black eyes or with a tuft of hair pulled out. As a child, the future actor was sickly, skinny, and prone to allergies. Then other problems arose. At the age of 11-12, Dolph was already drinking and smoking, running away from home and spending the night in other people's garages. His school grades were also poor, and his father decided to send his 13-year-old son to his parents in the small town of Newland in northern Sweden. Lundgren said that his grandparents treated him very well and took care of him when he was a schoolboy. When he was a teenager, the boy discovered hockey, weight training, and martial arts. At first, he chose judo, but then switched to karate. In addition, he took part in amateur theater productions. After the move, his grades improved, and the future actor began to dream of going to America to become successful. After graduating from high school with honors, the young man received several academic scholarships and went to study chemical engineering at the University of Washington and Clemson University. Dolph continued to practice karate. In 1977, he won the Swedish championship and held the champion title for 3 years. In 1979, he participated in the World Championship, where he lost to his opponent only in the final match. After the World Tournament, Dolph became the captain of the Swedish national karate team. Also in 1979, Lundgren was called up to the Swedish Armed Forces in the Marine Regiment. There, he was seriously injured and sent ashore. He served the rest of his term in the Special Forces Training Center. After the end of the service, he entered the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm. At the same time, twice becoming the winner of the British Open Karate Championship in 1980 and 1981. Dolph studied the 4th year of his bachelor's degree in Australia at the University of Sydney. There, in 1982, he received a master's degree in chemical engineering. After the Australian University, the young man received a grant to study at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. During his studies, Lundgren worked part-time in Sydney nightclubs as a bouncer, as well as a security guard at concerts. At one of them, he met the singer Grace Jones, and she hired him to be his personal security guard. But she was interested in Dolph not only as a bodyguard. They soon had an affair and went to New York together. At first, the Swede was nervous about the crime rate in New York in the early 80s, so he bought 2 guns, which he always carried with him. But over time, he got used to the city, started working as a bouncer in nightclubs, and started taking acting courses. In addition, Jones introduced the young man to famous people. At one of the parties, Andy Warhol became very interested in Lundgren's appearance, so he began to invite the actor to various photo shoots. Finally, when his studies at the university began, chemical engineering no longer seemed so attractive to Lundgren. So after a few weeks, Dolph went back to New York to continue his acting studies. When Grace Jones got a role in the next installation of the Bond series, she helped Lundgren get a small role in it too. She also advised her lover to change his name, Hans, to something more memorable. That's when he became Dolph, which is an abbreviation from the name of a distant relative on his mother's side, Rudolph. In 1985, Dolph Lundgren made his debut on the big screen in the film A View to Kill, and finally decided to devote his life to cinema. The aspiring actor started sending out portfolios and attending auditions. Among them was a casting for a role in the 4th film about Rocky Balboa, At that time, the guy was rejected because at 6 feet 5 inches, he was too tall. But Lundgren made new photos dressed up as a boxer and sent the new portfolio to Stallone himself. Perseverance helped the Swede get the role of the Soviet boxer Ivan Drago, beating 5,000 other candidates.
I must break you.
In preparation for filming, Stallone and Lundgren trained together for 6 months. Dolph gained impressive muscle mass and reached a weight of 245 pounds. Although most of the fighting scenes were rehearsed, sometimes the actors improvised. In addition, Stallone, who insisted that everything should be real, persuaded Lundgren to fight seriously. Dolph refused for a long time, but then he agreed. Later, Stallone had to be taken to the hospital with 2 broken ribs, and the filming was suspended. In an interview, the actor recalled that the shooting in Rocky IV was pretty memorable due to the fact that his partner Grace often brought home girlfriends with whom they spent the night together, and in the morning he had to go to the ring with Sylvester Stallone. On November 21, 1985, the premiere of the film Rocky IV took place, and Dolph Lundgren instantly became a star. The actor himself later referred to the premiere of the film as a turning point in his life, noting that I entered the movie theater as Grace Jones's boyfriend, and 90 minutes later I came out as a movie star, Dolph Lundgren. The role was not only a landmark of his career, but also changed the balance in his relationship with Grace. After filming, Dolph moved to Los Angeles, which Grace hated. In addition, the agent hired by Dolph explicitly forbade the actor to maintain contact with the singer. He believed that associating with her would damage his reputation. But the eccentric Grace decided to get her lover back and went to his hotel with a gun. As a result, Lundgren got injured, but he did not press charges. 6 months after the premiere of Rocky IV, the couple broke up. Later, there were many women. He dated fashion models Paula Barbieri, Janice Dickinson, and Stephanie Adams, as well as actresses Samantha Phillips and Leslie Ann Woodward. Dolph received the main role 2 years later in 1987 in the film Masters of the Universe, based on the comics. Lundgren performed all the stunts on his own, and in the following year, the actor played the role of the Russian military man Nikolai in the action film Red Scorpion. In 1989, the action film based on the comics The Punisher was released, and if for the role of Ivan Drago, Lundgren gained weight, for this one he had to lose about 30 pounds. Because in this story, Dolph's character, Frank Castle, lives in an underground sewer and can't look that huge. At the beginning of the following year, the film Dark Angel was released. The original plan was for Dolph Lundgren to play the role of an evil alien, but in the end, he got the lead role. All of those films weren't very successful with audiences. Film critics also stated that the acting talent was significantly inferior to the muscles. In 1991, 2 action films were released with Lundgren as lead actor. In the film Cover Up, the actor plays an American journalist. One of the scenes where Dolph's character walks through the crowd of people celebrating Easter was filmed during the real cross procession using hidden cameras. Unsuspecting pilgrims and tourists thought the fake blood was real, and Dolph was detained by armed soldiers. In the second film, Showdown in Little Tokyo, Dolph played an American samurai fighting the Japanese drug mafia of Los Angeles.
Okay. Kick his ass, samurai.
Yoshida! Go ahead, use your gun. You don't have the honor to fight like a man.
You do believe in fate, don't you, Kenna?
Lundgren was the only one who used an authentic samurai sword in the scene with the cutting of bamboo. All the other swords were fake. In the same year, the actor married unknown Parry Mom, but they divorced a year later. In 1992, the film Universal Soldier was released, which was a success among audiences.
Now they're in this white and yellow Buick with no front or rear window. Does that refresh your memory?
At the premiere screening in the Cannes Festival, the performers of the 2 main roles, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren, decided to stir up interest in the action film. They played on the rumors that a feud had broke out between them on the set, so they staged a fake fight on the red carpet. During the filming of The Universal Soldier, Lundgren met his future wife, jewelry designer Annette Kviberg. In 1994, they were married at St. Elnor's Church in Stockholm. After that, they went on a honeymoon to Morocco, Spain, and France. Dolph spoke of his young wife as a wonderfully generous and independent woman who stood her ground and always told him the truth, even if it was unpleasant. At first, the couple rented a 3-level apartment in New York near Central Park, but after the birth of their daughters Ida and Greta, they moved to Spain to escape from the paparazzi. In 1994, the action films Men of War and Pentathlon were released. To prepare for the latter, Dolph trained with the U.S. national pentathlon team. Later, he was appointed the team manager at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. His tasks included interacting with the U.S. Olympic Committee and promoting the sport in general. In addition, for the film Pentathlon, Dolph worked for the first time as a producer with his own studio, Thor Pictures. In 1995, the action film Johnny Mnemonic was released, in which the actor plays the role of a street preacher. However, the studio cut out 90% of his scenes, which were considered too anti-religious. And at the end of the same year, the film Shooter was released. For this role, Dolph received $2.5 million. Lundgren had to perform all the stunts himself due to the fact that his stuntman gained a lot of weight. As a result of a dangerous jump, he injured his ankle, and for 6 months after that, he couldn't run and jump properly. The following year, the film Silent Trigger was released. For this role, the actor took a special course on handling an armor-piercing rifle, which he used in the film. In 1997, the action film The Peacemaker premiered, for which Lundgren received $2.5 million. In 1998, the action films Cleaner, Blackjack, for which Lundgren received $2 million, and the horror film The Minion were released. At the turn of the century, the actor added a number of other action films to his filmography, such as Stormcatcher, Bridge of Dragons, Sudden Impact, and others. But Dolph missed the opportunity to play in the Oscar-winning film Gladiator. He didn't like the original script and refused the role. After a short break, Dolph Lundgren returned to the screen in 2003 with the action film After the Dark. He played the role of a schoolteacher and a former Special Forces soldier. The following year, the action films Direct Action and The Defender came out, where Dolph also worked as a director. Also, the comedy Fat Slags was released, in which the Swede plays the role of a narcissistic fitness coach. In early 2005, the action movie Retrograde was released, for which Dolph received $1 million. In the same year, he directed the action film The Mechanic, in which he also played the main role, a paratrooper named Nikolai. In the film, Lundgren speaks Russian without a voiceover. In 2006, Dolph appeared in the historical drama The Inquiry. He appeared in Irsin Kudakova's music video, for which he received $140,000. The following year, Lundgren directed and starred in Diamond Dogs and Missionary Man. He refused to hire a stuntman for these films and used the money he saved towards the production. In the same year, in the Russian show King of the Ring, the actor had a bout with mixed martial arts fighter and actor Oleg Taktarov, but was defeated. In 2009, Dolph Lundgren appeared in the film Direct Contact and worked together with his daughter Ida in the action film Command Performance. The actor also starred in the third part of Universal Soldier.
I knew I had something to tell you. It's right there. On the tip of my tongue. Shit. I'm sure I'll remember it in a minute. Just...
In 2010, Dolph became one of the hosts of the Swedish selection for the Eurovision Song Contest. He appeared in the comedy series Chuck and also directed and played the main role in the action film Icarus. Initially, Lundgren was going to play the villain, but the producers of the film did not approve of this idea. In addition, they suspended him from working on the post-production of the film. Dolph didn't like the result at all, and he even wanted to remove his name as director from the credits. But the biggest event was the release of the action-adventure movie The Expendables.
Appreciate it. It's good to have friends.
Gunner! Yeah!
This isn't how we work. Let him go.
Why? He do it to us!
Gunner, last chance. Let him go. We'll let you go.
The offer from his old friend Sylvester Stallone to play in the new film was very well timed, as the actor was going through some rough times. Since his role in Rocky, Dolph's childhood traumas had led him on a path of self-destruction in the form of drinking, debauchery, gluttony, and violence. The actor admitted that he harmed himself a lot. His marriage was falling apart, and his daughters almost didn't know their father. In addition, Lundgren believed that his career was ruined. But The Expendables brought the actor back to the big screen. As part of the promotional tour of The Expendables, Lundgren and his colleagues visited Kiev. In one of the clubs, his wallet was stolen. Inside, there was about $3,000 in some bank cards. Dolph didn't make a fuss. He blocked the cards, and the organizers reimbursed him for the cash. In 2011, Lundgren and Kviberg filed for divorce. Then he started going out with Jenny Sanderson, a former Swedish karate champion. They broke up a few years later. In order not to repeat his mistakes in a new relationship, Dolph started going to therapy and practicing meditation. Over time, he was able to cope with the traumas that ruled his life and asked for forgiveness from his children, ex-wife, and other people he had offended. The following years were fruitful for the actor. He starred in the crime comedy Small Apartments, the fourth part of Universal Soldier, the second part of The Expendables, the thriller Stash House, the action film One in the Chamber, and others. In 2014, Dolph appeared in the action film A Certain Justice, Part 3 of The Expendables, and also became one of the screenwriters and the lead actor in the film Skin Trade. In the film, the actor appeared in the image of a detective investigating a case of human trafficking. After working on the film, Lundgren started helping the anti-trafficking charity CAST. The films released in the next 2 years did not receive high ratings from the public, but Lundgren tried to expand his filmography with films like the ghost thriller Don't Kill It, the film about the Second World War, War Pigs, the comedies Kindergarten Cop 2, and Hail Caesar, where he played a small role as a submarine captain. In 2017, Dolph Lundgren continued to appear in films. He played in the crime action film Altitude, the thriller Larceny, the horror film Dead Trigger, and the Russian comedy Bachelor Party. He also took part in the filming of the video of the American rock band Imagine Dragons for the song Believer. A year later, the actor appeared in the film Blackwater, the popular TV series Arrow. He returned to the role of Ivan Drago in the film Creed 2, and also played King Nereus in the superhero film Aquaman.
By law, you need 4 of the 7 kingdoms to send an attack. The lost nation and the deserters have long perished. The trench are nothing but animals. The bride will never join you, and the fishermen are cowards. Without me and my army to convince them.
In 2019, several more action films with Lundgren were released, as well as an episode of the TV series It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In 2020, the actor became an ambassador for the American nonprofit organization Child Help, which aims to prevent and treat the consequences of child abuse. In December of the same year, it became known that 63-year-old Dolph Lundgren married his 24-year-old lover, Emma Krochtel, who was his personal trainer. They got engaged in the summer in Sweden 6 months after the start of the relationship. In the coming years, 2 premieres are planned: the action film Castle Falls, where Dolph stars with Scott Adkins, and the cartoon Minions: The Rise of Gru. Now he is preparing to shoot the sports action film Malevolence. He also has plans to participate in the drama Without You, I Am Nothing, the comedy thriller A Man Will Rise, directed by Lundgren himself, the action film A Most Wanted Man, as well as the Russian comedy The Groom 2, To Berlin. Now Dolph Lundgren's net worth is estimated at $18 million. In addition to films, the actor receives income from advertising. Dolph participated in the filming of the commercials for Norton Antivirus, the computer game Call of Duty Ghosts, as well as the energy drink Monster Energy. And in his Instagram account, the actor promotes the products of OptiVita Health. Lundgren also starred in an advertisement for the Ford EcoBoost engine. He tested a skateboard with the engine installed and was able to reach a speed of 60 miles an hour. In addition, the actor starred in an ad for Volvo excavators. In the ad, Dolph Lundgren trains an entire platoon of excavators, forcing them to do push-ups and pull-ups to energetic music. Lundgren now lives in a 3-story, 1,575 square foot mansion in West Hollywood, which he purchased in 2018 for $3.9 million. The house has 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a spacious kitchen, a dining room, a cozy living room, a home theater, an office, and a gym. The mansion has a large roof terrace and an outdoor swimming pool. The interior of the house with panoramic windows is designed in an elegant style with a predominance of white, beige, and brown colors. In 2020, it was rumored that the actor put the mansion up for sale for $4.5 million, but judging by the photos that he posts on social media, he still lives there. Previously, Dolph and his family lived in Marbella, Spain. The mansion was robbed in 2009. The criminals tied up the actor's wife, but when they saw the photo of the owner, they ran away. And later they even returned some things. In addition, Lundgren has a 4-bedroom apartment in the center of Moscow with a view of the Moskva River, worth more than $500,000. A few years ago, the Swede bought a property in Bulgaria. He got a studio apartment in Sunny Beach, 650 feet away from the sea for 70,000 euros. Lundgren then sold it because maintenance was too expensive. He also bought another apartment in Svetovlas as well as an apartment in the Sofia quarter of Borova. Dolph's car collection includes such cars as Italian supercar Ferrari FF, Ferrari 612, Scaliated Gran Turismo class, hybrid Toyota Prius, SUV Lincoln Navigator, Aston Martin DBS, and a replica of the British sports car Shelby Cobra 3. The actor is fluent in Swedish and English and speaks a little Spanish, Russian, French, German, Italian, and Japanese. He loves westerns and soccer. He doesn't drink much alcohol, but can make really good cocktails thanks to his education as a chemist. At the age of 63, he maintains his excellent shape. Last year, he was certified for 4th Dan in karate, but despite his physical strength, he considers himself weak and sensitive. Tell us in the comments, which fact about Dolph Lundgren's life impressed you the most? If you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any interesting videos.